Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother WW3 from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rocha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. A salutation and much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity and for edification's sake, all right, and enduring afflictions. All right, we're going to end off this series of lessons, basically going into the final destruction of Babylon the Great, also known as America, all right, by thermonuclear destruction, by the way of Russia, all right. That's what we've been going into this series, the buildup of World War III, and Russia becoming a guard unto these other nations. We started out by reading these news articles, that was reflecting these prophecies coming to pass as we speak, right before our eyes. All right, so this is Jeremiah 51:1. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind." All right. So the Most High is about to bring. Let me continue reading. It says, "And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land for the day of trouble. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth the bow, let the archers bend his bow, and against him that lifteth up his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts." All right. So what the Most High is saying here is he's prophesying against Babylon the Great. This isn't the Babylon that Jeremiah was living in. All right, because that Babylon was not destroyed, and it definitely wasn't destroyed by no thermonuclear missiles. All right. So, as you read into this, if you read through the Bible and understood the history, of, things like that, Babylon, and especially history today, this is going to go into a place. It keeps saying that it's not going to be inhabited. It's going to keep saying that no man's going to dwell there. All right. And the last Babylon where, where this was taking place is over in the Middle East, over in Iraq. All right. There's people still living there today. So that's not talking about that Babylon. All right. This was a future prophecy for in these days. And as we'll read at the end, the Most High say, seal this book up. All right. So that's how we know that we're talking about the Babylon that we living in today. All right. And speaking on these fanners and the destroying wind. All right. That's those thermonuclear missiles, check that out on YouTube, look up, nuclear bomb test or something like that, and there's an old film. It's like not even to say black and white. It looks like it's all a brown color film, where it's just like really old. But nevertheless, you'll see, kind of in like slow motion what it looks like, a nuclear blast takeoff. But in the video, they show the effects on like buildings, cars, trees, and things like that. But as you see, once the thing first goes off, you have that flash of light. Then you have like a wall of wind. And then you have like a wall of pressure, and then you have a wall of heat, and then you have that wall of fire that comes right after, But one of the first initial waves is that blast of wind, But ultimately that's what it's talking about. These thermonuclear missiles going off here in Babylon, all right. And further down in verse 3, when it says, "Against him that bendeth, let the archers bend the bow." All right, and that bow represents, just like in ancient times, they had a bow and arrow. All right, you just break it down on the simplest forms. If you're describing it to somebody, what's a bow and arrow? It's a weapon. What type of weapon? It's a long range weapon. It's a airborne weapon. All right, and it's a projectile. You projecting something. So in modern days today, what do you have? You have a long range projectile. Weapon. What is that? Missiles. We nowadays in modern times we launch missiles off. And this Third World War, they're going to have ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, meaning that these missiles, Russia is not going to shoot missiles at America. That's not that they don't have. Well, now they do with the nuclear power stuff. They can actually shoot straight at America and hit it like that. But with the conventional ICBM missiles, what they do is they launch them into outer space, like in orbit, where the satellites are at, and then they get them in position, and then they just rain them back down onto their target. But nevertheless, it's all, you see the same fashion as like a bow and arrow is shot, from where the shooter is standing. He pretty much aims, like if he's trying to hit a far target, he aims up in the air, and the bow arches over and it comes raining down on the person. Same with these missiles. They go up in the air. You look up, any kind of missile launch from any of these cruise missile, these ships that shoot them off, or the submarines that shoot them off, or the land bases or mobile vehicles that shoot them off. They always go out in an arching fashion and they rain back down on the opponent. It's the same way back in ancient times. It's the same way today. Jeremiah's just describing it in a way that that he could understand it as. When he saw that, he was like, damn, this shit reminds me of a huge bow and arrow, a mighty bow and arrow, a bow of steel, Verse 4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. All right, and that's talking about here in Babylon. All right, they're gonna be slain right here in these streets. It's gonna be a straight massacre like never before seen on a planet Earth. We also know that this is gonna happen. Prior to this, the ultimate destruction of Babylon. Leading right up to that, you're gonna have what? Jacob's trouble. All right, that's how it's all gonna be ended. The Lord said, roughly paraphrasing, there's going to be a day like never before, the same day as Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. And that's going to be when the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 are going to be delivered. All right. They're going to be delivered right before those nuclear missiles touch down. All right. It says, for Israel has not been forsaken, nor Judah his power of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So that's basically letting these heathen know, how they always talking shit about the Israelites, oh, you wetbacks, you need to go back. We need to put up a wall, this and that. We that nation that's not desired. Everybody look down upon us like as if we just an outcast, a nobody, a piece of trash or something like that, right? But the Most High is saying, but listen, hold up, Israel wasn't forgotten. We wasn't thrown off. What you talking about? And Judah wasn't forsaken of his power. So what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I was displeased with them because they broke my law, statutes, and commandments. But I mean, I ain't disown my people. What you talking about? And I'm finna render recompense upon all thy enemies. All right. Verse 6, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for it is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. All right. And now when it's saying flee out of the midst of Babylon, it's talking about mentally and spiritually. All right. It's not talking about, leaving the land of Babylon like that, because we know that the salvation and the deliverance of Israel is going to mainly take place right over here in the land of Babylon. All right. Scriptures also tell us to flee out of the midst of her, come out of her, my people. All right. So you be not partakers of her sins. You see what I'm saying? It's talking about mentally and spiritually. All right. So, that's going a little deeper on some other things, like, we was all once at one point in time Gentiles, all right, and we had to wake up to the fact that we was Israelites, all right, and then we got to stop cleaving unto this here nation that we so desire so much, stop taking on their customs and the different things that they got going on and all the little bullshit that they believing in, because ultimately you just keep walking down that path, you're going to do what? You're going to wind up taking that RFID chip, you following along with America, you take that RFID chip, your ass is grass, so, basically you need to just, so the scripture also say, though hand join in hand with the wicked, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You got to come up out of her, my people, mentally and spiritually. All right. The actual deliverance is going to take place here, for the majority of the Israelites. They're going to be saved from the four corners of the earth. But this is going to be, all right, here's another scripture for you. It says, no, roughly paraphrasing, no more will they talk about the deliverance of Egypt, but they're going to talk about the deliverance from out of the land of the north. All right. So that's going to be the new Exodus that we're going to be talking about. We're not going to talk about the old Egypt. We're going to be talking about the new Egypt's deliverance. All right. This here in Babylon the Great, that's going to be the new Exodus story that we're going to talk about and remember, because it's going to be so glorious. All right. But getting back on subject, verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. All right. And you can read that in Revelation 17, all right, about that golden cup, well, about how Babylon, also made all these nations drunk with the wine of her fornication, all these other nations are getting mad and they getting, for example, Turkey, all right. Turkey had been drinking out of that cup and joined up with NATO, all right. But now Turkey is like, yo, man, we don't want to be dealing with this shit no more. They're starting to sober up, They're starting to sober up and get their shit together and realize, like, wait a minute. We was drunk, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm mad that I was fucking with you the whole time, and I need to, you know what I'm saying, cut my ties with you, and who are you to tell me this, and that, and all the other nations. You know, we was reading about that with the Philippines as well, you know. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. All right, so, you know, Babylon is suddenly fallen. We can read about that in Revelation 18, all right? Like I said, you know, this was, you know, not to say a quick lesson or a quick series, but, you know, we can read about this, the fall of Babylon the Great, you know, all throughout the scriptures, you know. That's how great and mighty it is. Revelation 17, Revelation 18, you know. That pretty much, how do I say, you know, go hand in hand with this, you know. Same with Jeremiah chapter 50, you know. But nevertheless, it says, you know, and I call this here the Donald Trump scripture right here, you know. And this is how we know, hey, man, this is how we know the Most High is hey, man, the Most High is the Most High, man. He real deep, man. Hey, look how he worded all this stuff. But only, you know, blessed your eyes, which would be able to see these things and be able to understand these precepts, you know. But it says, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. So here's Donald Trump. If so, she may be healed. All right. We're going to make America great again. All right. That's what his campaign speech was ran off of. We're going to make America great again. Right. Now he says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and she is lifted up even into the skies. All right. So, you know, I call that the Donald Trump one because that was his campaign. We're going to make America great again. But, you know, thousands of years before Donald Trump would even, you know what I'm saying, come across the scene or even be thought of, before America would even be thought of for there to be a Donald Trump, to even be a president, the Most High had already answered his campaign speech, you know. You was rejected. You wasn't elected, you know. Or you was elected to bring your nation into perdition, you know. That's basically what you was brought forth to do, you know. But nevertheless, it says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Let us go everyone into his own country, for his judgment reaches unto heaven, and she is lifted up even unto the skies. So let us go into everyone into his own country. Yeah. So as you start seeing Revelation chapter 17 come to play here, where they talk about you know, the whore riding upon the beast, right? And then the beast starting to hate the whore, right? And they're gonna burn her with fire. All right. Now, so that's talking about America the whore, riding on NATO, the EU, the beast. All right. So as you're starting to see now in the news, all right, you know, with other countries like Germany and France and some in the UK, you know, these countries are starting to, how do you say, resent making deals with America. You know, they starting to see a bigger picture, like the bigger picture, like, yo, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? We not really making no money here. We actually fucking ourselves up over here trying to, you know what I'm saying, be the muscle over here for America, you know, and trying to dominate everybody else. We just fucking up ties with us and other people that we trade with, you know what I'm saying? And you going over here making bullshit agreements and disagreements with people, you know what I'm saying? And we deal with them people. We got to eat up off of them people, you know? It's a trade game, and the only person ain't trading in mind is not just you and the rest of the world and whoever you put sanctions on, you know? These people you putting sanctions on and saying if anybody deal with them, they're going to be sanctions as well, even our own allies. So wait a minute. When the European nations deal with some of those people that's closest to them on that side of the planet Earth to get their goods and resources, all right, non-GMO resources, wait a minute, how you gonna tell them they can't trade with certain countries like Iran to get whatever they need up off of them, you know? Just because America don't like them and what they got going on, and America trying to sabotage them. Now you making us go broke because now we lacking on X, Y, and Z, you see? It says, verse 10, Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion the works of Yahweh our power. All right? Yeah, the Most High brought forth our righteousness. All right, first and foremost, hey, Ezekiel 37, we waking Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. Hey man, all this is all part of our deliverance. All right. First, Ezekiel 37 came through the valley of dry bones. You know what I'm saying? We was woken up. All right, we was you know, individually restored. Now the Most High is bringing back that nation. You know, and what nation? The house of David, the 144,000 and 1/3 to be delivered. All right, preparing them for that delivery, to be picked up for that deliverance. All right. And then what's gonna happen next? All right, all hell gonna pop loose. Jacob's trouble, and in that day, Jacob gonna be saved up out of it. All right, the elect in the 1/3 of 144,000. All right, and that's what we out here declaring on the highways and the byways and in these video epistles. All right, that's going out throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, verse 11 it says, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields." All right, now we getting into some of the technology that's going to be used in these days. All right, and remember, this was written a long ass time ago. This was written before Yahushua walked the scene. All right, so let alone these weaponries just came out within not that long ago. They ain't been out that long. It says make bright the arrows. Now you got to ask yourself. We already broke down the similitude between a bow and arrow and a missile. When they're shooting missiles off. How the arc in shape, it arches over, what I'm saying? It's a long range weapon. All right. Another thing that's in it, when you look at the arrow part, all right, first of all, you have the bow. The bow is what? The launcher. All right. Nowadays they have the launch pads, on ground base. They have the airplanes to launch them. They have ships to launch them. They have submarines to launch them. They even got them in space to launch them. All right. So, they still have the launch pad and in the bow feature, but also when you look at the bow itself, how is it broken down? A bow is broken down into 3 pieces. All right, you have the tail fins, which help stabilize the flight path of it. All right, the body of it, which helps stabilize and it helps also stabilize and direct it in flight. But then you have the tip of the arrow. All right, which helps. Not helps, but which is the weaponry, the weaponry part, the instrument of death, basically. Just the tip of it, the bow and arrow tip is the part that pierces through somebody and causes damage, right? So the same with these missiles, all right? You have the tail, all right? And then also in the tail, that's where the flames come out for the propulsion system, all right? Then you have the body of it where the fuel is stored and help it for stability and flight and all that, all right, guidance, all right, and then in the head, they call them warheads, all right, that's where the damage is being done at. When those missiles go off, you see those big, huge missiles on the back of those Russian trucks, you know what I'm saying? Those are that big ass shit like that. That's not necessarily how big the bomb is. The bomb is only the tip. That big ass shit is just the gas tank in the body of it to be able to launch it off that far. And sometimes they have multiple warheads on the inside, you know what I'm saying? It's the delivery mechanism. All right, so the real long, big tubular shit that you see, that's pretty much the vehicle that's delivering the warhead itself. The damage is done in the head itself. So all these comparisons between these arrows that the Most High keeps talking about, all right, is the same as what we see today is these missiles. All right, and here it says make bright the arrows. Now back in those days, they didn't have anything to make the arrows bright. They could have flame tip arrows. They could put maybe some cotton or something on the tip of their bow and arrows and shoot them in the dark, they would be bright, but other than that, and hey, even if they did do that, look at how it transitioned into the spirit. They had a regular solid, just a straight penetration thrust through piercing more or less to say round, to now they have a flaming round. All right, that's what these missiles are. They go from, you have when they came out with guns, they had regular bullets that just pierce through you, and now they have basically bigger bullets that sit there and they have bigger bullets that explode and cause floods of fire. All right, it says make bright the arrows, gather the shields, and that's what they're doing with this S-400 system, the THAAD system. America has their own system called the THAAD. All right, and the Patriot system, or not the Patriot system, the THAAD system. All right, and in Israel it's called, I think, the Iron Dome system. All right, but nevertheless, it's just how do you call them? Missile defense shields. They basically radars that pick up incoming projectiles, whether it be a plane or a missile. All right, and then they autonomously, their radars is going off in a system. It might be 3 or 4 radars, maybe 3 radars triangulating the area. All right, something coming to that path. They communicate with the closest launcher in range to direct the hit to it. All right, then they also have satellites to help it with the GPS system. All right, so these things like the S-400, like you see them trucks with the bombs and shit, that's just not the whole system. That's why I say about this F-35 plane, you just see the plane, but the shit, they all work together in unison with a whole bunch of other items. A plane could be in communication with 35 ground items, 35 different radars, 35 or different radars, different ships, different launching capacities for off of different things. A plane could sit there and launch a strike off of aircraft, not an aircraft carrier, but one of those battleships, with the systems that's on those. Same with the S-400 systems, same with the THAAD system. You know, if their launchers close by can't hit them, they'll hit them with something bigger or something further away. All right, these are these systems that all work together with one another in unison to make one big, you know, more or less to say a grid, you know, to have everything on lockdown. All right. But as we know, the way to get through all of this is how it's written in the scripture, and basically what Russia and the conglomeration of nations is going to do. I was talking about all you that bend the bow, you know, stand round about it and launch at them. So they're going to just bombard America with all the damn shit that they got all at one time. All right. One day, 1 hour, all these missiles going to be every last missile on the planet Earth that has, not to say ever been made, but every last missile on the planet Earth that's in existence. And on that day will be launched over here in America, and their missile defense systems and is going to be completely overwhelmed. All right. Not even to say overwhelmed. The spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is going to be in the missiles. And the scriptures say not one of them going to miss their mark. Not one of them going to be shot off in vain. So every last one of the missiles that's in existence is going to fall right here on Babylon, turning it into the lake of fire. All right. Which is going to make the whole earth reel to and fro from the impact of all the missiles that's on the planet Earth raining down on this land. Turn it into the lake of fire. Turn it into the new Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. All at one time, the whole earth going to shake. All right. The whole earth going to know about this day. All right. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. All right. And that's what you see going on right now with Russia. That's what we're going into this story, how they selling these arms. Yahweh has raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, the Russians, for his device. All right. That arms build and all that weapons advancement that he's doing. All right. For his devices against Babylon. All right. To destroy it because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, because the vengeance of his temple. All right, so all these new weapons and shit that Russia and them coming out with nuclear powered cruise missiles and hypersonic missiles, Satan 1, Satan 2, the S-400, S-500 Prometheus, all this new shit Russia coming out with, man. You know, that's their devices that they you know, the Most High is blessing them with this weaponry advancement. All right. But all that is the Most High's purpose to be used upon Babylon the Great, which is America, all in one day. All right. They're not building that to maybe one day have to fight China, or maybe one day have to fight the Arabs or some shit like that, man. The type of weaponry that they got. First of all, Russia's old school weaponry is far more superior than everybody else's on the planet Earth anyway, besides maybe America. They like neck and neck with they old school shit, you know, like the shit from the 70s and the 80s, because they wound up splitting Germany shit. You know, so they old weaponry, all right, you know, because both countries don't really have no new technology, from which, you know, I believe in the 70s was the newest shit that they got, the 70s and the 80s, like with the M1 Abrams tanks, the M1 or the Bradley tanks, the Apache helicopter, the Black Hawk helicopter. These are all pretty damn old devices and weaponry. You know what I'm saying? That's all pretty old, you know. So they ain't really came out with no new shit. The newest shit that they came out with was all pretty much since, you know, George Bush was in office. All right. You know, they first started coming out with the drone warfare. All right. And then from the drones, you know what I'm saying? They was making that shit even more deep. They still developing that. You know, it's not just those little planes you see. They didn't develop that into, how do you say, swarm warfare, where they can connect multiple drones together and use them autonomously. All right. And, you know, that's what Russia and China's planes are on. That's pretty much what like this F-35 was trying to be like, you know what I'm saying? But they still had the pilots inside the damn planes. But on China and Russia's side, yo, they fucking with basically drone warfare. You have to look up Iran's drone program. You know, they got swarms of drones. They'll have like 100 little attack boats swarming your ass with little grenade launchers on that shit, all remote control. You know what I'm saying? Not little boats, like regular, like little John boats or something like that, you know? But nevertheless, you know, this is these devices, all this new weaponry, all this new technology is being developed for what reason? To destroy Babylon. All right. It says, Jeremiah 51:11 again, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh has raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. This judgment day, man. All this military buildup, this military talk, this wars and rumors of war is leading up to the Most High's vengeance, you know, is gearing up to World War III, which is going to happen, which is Babylon the Great is going to be judged and destroyed. All right. Verse 12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare to ambush, for Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right. And that's exactly what, you know, what you're watching right now. This is a video. All right, showing you, you know, what we do, what the men of the Lord do. They go out on the highways and the byways and they proclaim this. You know, the majority of our camps, the majority of all the camps, you know, that come out of One West, you know, they all have pretty much all the same signs, you know, and they you know, they collections of signs. They had that USSR missile sign, all right, thermonuclear destruction sign, Sarah's dream sign, all right, talking about the thermonuclear destruction of Babylon the Great by way of Russia, all right. We go out on the highways and the byways and we you know, we lift up our voice and blow the trumpet. You know, we were set up as watchmen to the children of Israel, all right, to show them they sins and transgressions and warn them of the Most High and bring them back to the law, statutes, commandments, but also to these other nations, let them know they transgressions and they judgment, all right. And being in the midst of Babylon, we telling you, you about to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles via Russia and a conglomeration. All right. So that's the standard that we setting up, you know, that the Most High set up with his watchmen on the walls. All right. It says, "O thou dwell upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thy end is come, the measure of thy covetousness." All right. And so I gotta think of a couple of scriptures to go off of this. You know, speaking on, what is that? Revelation 17, you know, talking about that great city that dwells upon many waters, and that golden city, and that great city is Babylon. All right. And we just read about the golden cup that, you know, that Babylon had in his hand. All right. But also it says, abundant in thy treasures. All right. America is the glory of all the kingdoms at this moment. All right. It's got the most resources to dominate all the other countries on the planet. All right. Because like, say, for instance, Iraq's oil, right? Iraq is still called Iraq. You know, people think that shit's still owned by Iraq, but really the resources and, you know, the good shit over in Iraq is owned by, you know, these elites, you know, these Babylonians, these Chaldeans, all right? These Americans, not necessarily the me's, using hims and hers, but the elites, the people that's in the know-how, all right? It says, thy end is come, thy measure of thy covetousness. All right, and woe to he that devises the evil evil covetousness unto his own house. You know, hey man, you done spilled the blood of the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans on this land, and all these other people to sit on high, basically as the God of this earth, man. The Most High is gonna require your blood for that, man. Especially because you spilled the blood of the children of Israel, man. You oppressed us, man. It says, Yahweh of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. All right, that's these men that's gonna be that's being raised up right now. That's chanting down Babylon, telling Babylon, hey, look, you about to be taken, you about to be devoured, homie. You know what I'm saying? It says he has made the earth by his power and has established the world by his wisdom, and he has stretched out the heavens by his understandings. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of water in heaven, and he causeth the vapor to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain. He bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is a falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the works of error. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. All right. So basically, the Most High is bigging himself up and bragging and boasting. No. Hold on, Salakia. He not bragging and boasting. The Most High is telling you the truth, man. The Most High is showing you in real retrospect, yo, what it is, bro. The part of thy heart has deceived you, you goddamn heathen. Talking about I'll be like the Most High. You think you the shit, homie, but the Most High gonna show you he the one who stretched out the heavens. All right? He the one when he speak, it is so. You see what I'm saying? Who the fuck is you? The part of your heart has deceived you, man. The Most High gonna show you what a real power is like. You finished, man, you about to see the power and the glory of the Most High face to face, homeboy. And you have no idea what's coming for you. The Most High said he set a trap and a snare for you, and it's finna come to pass, and you gonna know that there's a power in heaven and there's a God that rule over the house of Jacob. All right. Verse 19 says the portion of Jacob is not like them. All right. See, he'd be like, hold up, bro. Yeah, this ain't the other one. Where it says for Devon, that's in I want to say Obadiah, or Ezekiel, like Devon, that's in Deuteronomy 28. But it says the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. All right. So let me jump around real quick. Hold on. I think that's Deuteronomy 32. And boom, right here. And where's the other one at? Hang on. I'd have to find the other one, but this is Deuteronomy 32 and verse 9. It says, for Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. All right. And so there was another precept right over there I wanted to grab. Oh, Jacob is the portion. Yeah, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. All right, and the lot of his inheritance. Jacob is the lot of his portion. Salaki, that's what I wanted to get. But here going on into verse 20. All right, we about to start reading into more things. These calamities is gonna come. All right, so the scripture is a little bit jumping around. All right, we were just reading about thermonuclear destruction on the land of Babylon and not being inhabited no more. But we're gonna rewind a little bit. All right. This is right before that, all right? This is going to be the times, there's going to be a lot of calamities that's popping off in Babylon right before the final destruction. That's going to be the end all be all right? That's the last plague that's going to be coming upon this land. Well, the last two plagues coming upon this land, all right? Because you're going to have the chariots is going to be one of the plagues. That's the whole plague that go before the whole earth, all right? Them chariots are going to be coming and sickening these men. But also the thermonuclear missiles, all right? Thermonuclear missiles and chariots, all right? They're going to be these last little plagues. But before that happens, you got a massive buildup of all kind of different things going on. You're going to have, what is referred to as Jacob's trouble popping off, all right? You're going to have race wars. You're going to have martial law. You're going to have famines. You're going to have all this crazy shit popping. Matter of fact, look at Venezuela. All right, it's going to be Venezuela right now. It's going to be like Venezuela mixed with Puerto Rico, mixed with Haiti after the earthquake. You know what I'm saying? All in one, all right? And all these other places in the calamity all at once. All right, it's gonna be like the real life purge, but on 1,000. Well, really like Venezuela, it's gonna be terrible. All right, all that's gonna be popping off. But in the midst of that, these Edomites gonna be getting ran through, and these other nations gonna get ran through. All right, so this is Jeremiah 51 and 20. It says, this is speaking on Israel. It says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms, and with thee I will break in the horse and his riders, and with thee I will break in pieces the chariots and his riders, and with thee also I will break in pieces man and woman, and with thee I will break in pieces the old and the young, and with thee I will break in pieces the young man and the maid, and I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee I will break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee I will break in pieces the captains and the rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh." All right. And it says, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and I will roll thee down from the rocks and make thee a burnt mountain." All right. Let me just stop there for a minute. So let me just start here. It says, "Behold, I'm against the old destroying mountain." All right, now which destroyeth all the earth. All right, now which nation? These mountains. What's a mountain? These mountains represent nations. All right, and just like you have the summit meetings, that's the heads of these nations. All right, the top of a mountain. All right, but these mountains represents nations. So it says, "Behold, I'm against the old destroying nation or mountain or nation." All right, saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. So what nation destroyed all the earth? All right, the BP oil spill, chemtrails, the damn, all these different rays and shit that you got going on through the damn air with your waves and all kind of bullshit you got going on, your philosophies, your doctrine. You the one who made all the kings of the earth drunk with your wine and your fornication, man. You got homosexuality spread all over the damn earth, man. You got people at war and just killing, not to say innocent people, but just rape, robbing, and murder under your name and your pretext just for your greed, all right? You done destroyed the whole earth, you know? Nuclear bombs and all kind of shit just bombarding the whole earth. Donald Trump dropping a bomb every 12 minutes on the earth, man. You destroying the planet earth. All right, you got the fish and everything dying off in the earth with all the plastics you got. You got trash islands floating around. Come on, man. The so-called white man is the damn devil. All right? And it says, verse 26, "And shall they not take up a stone, and they shall not take up a stone for a corner, nor a stone for a foundation, but they shall be desolate forever, saith Yahweh." Yeah, this ain't gonna be no stone left over in this place. Everything gonna be just, hey man, it's gonna be, you see Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They didn't found Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and it ain't nothing but, you can see it look like a big ass, kind of like a mountain, but it ain't nothing but ash. You walk up to it, you literally touch it, it's just like ash and break away. All right, It's like you look up in your grill and you see a remnant of a coal in there, and you go to try to pick it up. As soon as you go to grab it, it just disintegrates in your hand. You know, it says, set up a standard in the land and blow the trumpet among the nations. All right. Prepare the nations against her, call together against the kingdoms of Ararat, many Ashkenaz, appoint captains against her, and cause the horses to come up as rough caterpillars. All right. So that's what we doing right now. We setting up a standard in the land. All right. We telling you what the Most High's will is and what his purpose is. All right. To destroy Babylon off the face of the earth via thermonuclear missile, via what? Russia and a conglomeration of nations. All right. And also these chariots. All right. While in the midst of delivering his elect, 144,000 and 1/3, all of the children of Israel. All right. That's what the Most High plans for the day of judgment, the day of Yahushua's return. All right. But he's setting it all up by bringing these Edomites to destroy their own self. You know, these Edomites got it, you know, in the political world, right? Russia. All right. So Russia got these two new, well, they're not new no more, but these two missiles, right? These new upgraded thermonuclear missiles called the Satan 1 and the Satan 2. All right. And I believe they're in the process of developing the Satan. They got more than that, but they got the Saramat 1 and the Saramat 2, which they call the Satan 1 and Satan 2. Then they got, the other nations that's against America and Israel, mainly in the Middle East, called, what is it? America, Big Satan, and Israel, Little Satan, or vice versa. All right. So the Most High is cold with that. All right. The Edomites are also called what? Satan. All right. The deceiver, the devil. All right. So it's kind of funny how the Most High going to use the Russians, who are Edomites, who the Bible calls Satan, thy adversary. You know what I'm saying? Satan, he going to use Satan to destroy Satan, the Edomites. All right. Other Edomites, these Babylonians over here in Babylon the Great, and them damn fake ass Jews, those Amalekites, which are a tribe of Edom. All right, they still, you know, the damn devil, the Edomites. All right, they the chief house of them. All right, so the Most High gonna take the Russians, which are Edomites, the devils, to destroy the Americans, which are Edomites, also the devil, with a weapon, or on a political stage where they call Big Satan and Little Satan. All right, with a weapon that they call Satan 1 and Satan 2. All right, that's how deep this is. All right, that's what we on the highways and the byways in these videos telling you. The future, that's their future prophecy. All right, their future judgment coming soon to a city near you, thermonuclear destruction. All right, it says, prepare against the nations with the kings of the Medes. All right, as we read in Ezekiel 38, prepare thyself and thy company with thee. All right, be a guard unto them, all these other nations, Persia, Libya, Egypt. I forgot what other nation it said, but it's these other nations that you see being a conglomeration, and Russia is selling arms to at this day. All right, it says, therefore all the rulers thereof and all the land. Let me read that again. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. All right. So all these different, basically the hooks in his jaw, going back to the USSR, that bigger conglomeration, and all the other nations around. All of America's allies that jumping ship is going where? Over to the other side, the Russia side. All right. And the land shall tremble, and sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. All right. The mighty men of Babylon forborne the fight. They have remained in their holes that might have failed. They have become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So these American Edomites, they're going to be scared, and like the scriptures say, they're going to be scared and trembling, but they durst fight. All right. And in the midst of their fight, they're going to be taken down. All right. And it says, one shall run from one. It says, one post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. All right. So basically, they're gonna be how is Babylon falling? You know, they're gonna be taking. How do I say? They're gonna be wailing for it. You know, but then also they're gonna be like, yo, all in a twinkling in a moment, like the scripture say in 1 hour. You know, they're gonna be like, oh shit. You know, well, we under invasion. Oh shit, we under thermonuclear missiles. Oh shit, report to them. To the president, the Pentagon, we under attack. All in one moment. They're going to be trying to scramble and run and launch all kind of shit. But hey, that's going to be the day of the Lord. They're going to be taken as a thief in the night. All right. It says at the passages, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds have they burned with the fire, and men of war are frightened. Yeah. So they're going to be, they're going to basically be afraid, you know, once they, you know, the scripture also say, get ye in darkness. You know, they might get hit with an EMP first and everything be down, and they're going to just be you know, all of a sudden everything go dark, you know, no sound or nothing. And all of a sudden you hear, like the scripture say, the sound of them chariots prancing through the streets. You hear them tanks and them Humvees and them planes come swooping in on your ass and it's all dark, and all of a sudden it's just, hey, get down and lay down, you know? Get down, lay down, die down. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be in that day. All right? I'm going to go ahead and end this here lesson here, and I'm going to come back and make a part 2 so I don't get cut off with this video. All right, so shalom. I'll see you on the next side.